Well, this was a product of hubris.
It is no coincidence that unlucky number 13 is in fact Concord.
You serious?
I am quite serious. The absolute failure of a game made by Firewalk Studios that released August 23rd of 2024, then shut down on September 6th, 2024. It's quite hilarious. Whereas Firewalk Studios was founded in 2018 by veterans of Activision and Bungie. But the history of the company goes further than that. Because in order to understand how much of a failure this game was, we need to go to the beginning.
And it all starts with Harold Ryan, the former Bungie chairman, president, and chief executive officer, who founded Probably Monsters, Inc.
Now, there was something distinct about this team, but I better have Harold speak for himself here.
He said, and I quote, "We only hire talent who fit within our culture, and in return, we give our talent predictable schedules as well as a transparent compensation package in writing. The culture we create here at Probably Monsters is one of positivity, open communication, and respect. This structure allows our development studios to focus on game design and franchise building while the parent company handles everything else." You see, he was already fostering the first red flag, a hive mentality. But it doesn't stop there, because Probably Monsters, which was founded in 2016,
created subsidiaries. You know Firewalk, but there is also Cauldron Studios and Battle Barge. Then Sony entered the scene, buying Firewalk outright, while Concord was in the middle of production in April of 2023. It was originally a partnership that started in April of 2021, but elevated into a purchase instead. Why? Because Sony wanted to take a jab at live service games. So they assembled the creative director of Destiny 2, Ryan Ellis, as director, the composer of both Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Little Big Planet, Daniel Pemberton, and a crew member of Halo Reach, John Wisniewski, as the lead character designer. And what you got was Concord, a Star Wars Guardians of the Galaxy combination attempt of a series, where the only thing that worked was its performance. Well, yeah, also its music. I'm not about to knock the composer of one of my all-time favorite movies. So let's do a rundown of how many things there was wrong with this game. Starting with this dude saying that the judicial system is white supremacy.
You are such an idiot.
About $1 million in revenue for a game that cost, now, according to inside sources and rumors, $400 million.
Every single one of the heroes, the free gunners that you can select, has pronouns.
You cannot even open this game on PC without the game immediately crashing 3 seconds later.
For Concord's abysmal reception, telling them, "I'm so sorry, this has to be your first. I do not believe it's you or any other dev's fault that this game has performed so poorly, and I can tell a lot of effort was put into completing this game. It just came at the wrong time and the wrong genre."
We have developers on this project coming out and attacking people, which has only made the backlash significantly worse. But then we saw a developer melting down over the fact that the game was facing so much backlash, calling gamers a bunch of talentless freaks for criticizing people, but also silencing gamers by hiding their replies on the thread.
That's not how you treat a gun. That's not how you hold a gun. Okay, so we have fishermen. I don't know. I don't understand visually, thematically what they're saying with this. When you have a character design, you are saying something. You are expressing something. He's a fisherman, but the ocean is purple.
Concord came out and died very quickly. There's a lot of reasons behind that. Probably, it didn't have much marketing. People didn't gel with the art style, but at the end of the day, it was another standard hero shooter that was filled with modern day agenda that turns everyone off.
This game failed so hard. The only game that is worse in terms of length of release was a title called The Culling 2.
How ironic.
Concord's failure was so bad, Firewalk was shut down, Cauldron Studios was shut down, and Battle Barge also had major layoffs. Now let's talk about the short called Tale of the Implacable. The franchise is quirky even in death. Its teleplay was written by, of course, J.T. Petty and Christian Taylor, where it was based off a short story by Rachel K. Jones. Just so you know, the last 3 episodes of this season were done by J.T. Petty. And coincidentally, Christian Taylor worked on 15 episodes of Star Wars The Clone Wars and 2 episodes of Star Wars The Bad Batch, and 10 episodes of Eye Candy. Whereas Rachel K. Jones has written for anthologies such as Lightspeed Magazine, Beneath Ceaseless Skies, and Strange Horizons, as well as 4 Escape Artist podcasts, and lives in Portland, Oregon, writing speculative fiction. She's practically my neighbor. Last, we have a familiar voice in the short. We have our Laura Bailey, who plays Lucina and Blaze, playing Smokes. And now, let's take a look at the most moot episode ever, Tale of the Implacable. Well, I happen to say the name of the episode wrong. It's Implacable, which means relentless and unstoppable, which is also quite ironic in retrospect. In a rather crazy turn of events, Tim Miller somehow takes bad character design and makes it palatable. And the opening of this episode was quite witty, honestly. And Laura Bailey's Smokes was actually pretty charming. One more interesting aspect, the look of the episode is quite lovely. The colors are very well distinguished. But the jabs against capitalism are worse than Outer Worlds. It's frankly pretty frustrating to be reminded at how much our taxes are not being properly used. The biggest problem with sympathizing with criminals, you gotta have a reason to. Guardians succeeded because they ended up being a family of sorts. And their motto was something good, something bad, bit of both. You don't really get that with this bunch. What I get from this one is hollow beauty. You can appreciate the spectacle, but there isn't much of substance here. Because you get a nice twist at the beginning, but not much else after that. Also, making the Caucasian the antagonistic force was in, frankly, bad taste. This is a really good screensaver. Except the first guy. The first guy doesn't have to stay muted. I liked him.
Some people call it the big empty.